Hello, my name is Second814, and welcome to my review of Hellboy. Yes, the new reboot. And I'm just gonna come out and say I did not like this movie at all. This movie sucked. Oh boy. Well, not really sure where to start. But I guess just one thing to start out with is that at this whole entire movie, the movie from the kid movie, I guess you could say that the pacing was completely off, and the plot just felt, the whole thing just felt kind of rushed, I guess you could say. Hey, like in the begin, when the movie begins, it starts out with the setting up the backstory for the bit. Nimue, I believe her name is. Yes, played by Mila Jovovich. And, but basically, it's not a, there's no opening to it. It's literally just bam, there in your face, and it goes into this whole thing with King Arthur and Arthur Excalibur and all that. Yeah, so yeah, but it's just it goes by so freaking fast. It gives you no time to sink in what's really going on. Like, I guess you could say it gives you no time to take in what's really going on. So, anyways, and so that basically, this whole thing, everything, in all the characters, none of the characters are likable. I mean, Hellboy sucks like but I'll get to that. But like, back to how the plot goes. The plot just has things that come out of nowhere, and like I said, that opening, and then we cut to present day in Mexico. Oh, oh, because and Hellboy is there to retrieve another agent from the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense, whatever the heck it's called in this movie, and so. Because this agent was apparently investigating a nest of vampires or something like that. And yes, this is all very. It's basically it just comes on. It's like yeah, okay. And basically, this agent is now in the wrestling ring. He's now like a Mexican luchador. And well, and then Hellboy is there to bring him back. And they just go through this scene. It's like, oh yeah, and everybody, but and so basically like I guess Hellboy and this agent were apparently friends and all that, but it doesn't feel genuine. No, and they have this little fight, and it just ends abruptly with Hellboy just kind of smacking him with this big stone arm, and somehow, well, actually, take that back. It's revealed that that this agent is now a vampire. Higher. And then it ends with Hellboy smacks him around, hacks him, and then he somehow winds up impaled on the ring post. The rest of the ring post because I guess vampires are squishy or something like that. I guess maybe. So yeah, and everything just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like there's the beer. Well, maybe not, but there not everything, but there are a lot of there's just a lot of stuff that just literally comes right the heck out of nowhere. So yeah, like I said, he does still work for the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense, but And this should probably lead me into my next character point. Almost everybody in this movie is a complete is either has no personality or is a complete asshole. Oh, oh. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but the major characters. Hellboy's father just comes across as an asshole. Well, Hellboy is either or an angry, either completely angry at everybody, and or he's just whiny. He's nothing like the badass Ron Perlman and Hellboy, who doesn't really give a crap if someone sees him. So yeah, uh, 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 and like I said, and everything here just all the plot, nothing feels genuine here, and nothing feels genuine, and nothing feels organic. Everything, it just the plot moves at like this moves around just at this weird or stealth pace. Well, I should say stealth pace, and just at this odd, because every scene is just like there's nothing flowing into any scenes. It's just literally one scene after other. But yeah, and the plot just is just odd. Well, not odd, but the plot is just this. How should I say this? It just doesn't feel. Sorry about that. My train of thought crashed. What I was trying to say is that the plot. It just feels like the plot was just kind of cobbled together. Either maybe I don't know. Maybe it was at the last second, but still, well, the plot just. I mean, a lot of it just makes no sense, and like I said, a lot of it comes out of nowhere. Like there's a scene early in the movie where we're not a scene, but there's a part in the movie where early in the movie where Hellboy he goes to England to help out this group called the Osiris Club, who are like this legendary group of I guess those I think giant hunters or something like that. Excuse me. Yeah, they're a bunch of and so they've called in Hellboy to help because there's like three giants roaming around and and so Hellboy goes to this club and they're going through this but unlike and they're going through and this leader guy is giving Hellboy a tour of it and he's just going through it, but unlike where in the original we have the 2004 or Hellboy. We have the agent. I forget his name. I think Agent Myers getting a tour. Unlike it getting the tour being given by Hellboy's father. This just feels just like come on, here's some stuff. It doesn't feel like an introductory tour to the or like a first on the job tour. It just feels like a field trip. It feels literally like it's just somebody, I come this way, he blah, 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 or like you're going on a museum tour, or not, or. So yeah, but anyway, point I'm trying to get to, that they're supposedly called Hellboy in for help fighting these giants, and they decide to go off to ambush. Have to try to hunt these giants, and they're at this bridge, and the leader, the guys, he's explaining the plan, and all of a sudden they just ambush Hellboy. Hey, out of nowhere, or they just attack Hellboy. Nope. But yeah, it turns out they just wanted him dead. And it's because and that just comes completely out of nowhere. Where? It's like, where did that come from? Where was there any foreshadowing to this? Low, no. Oh, it's all of a sudden, just stab. Yeah, they want Hellboy dead. And it's just, and it's just really, that kind of out of nowhere stuff that this movie is made out of, was, or just kind of populates this movie. So, yeah. But, and if you think should feel sorry for Hellboy, you don't, because because this Hellboy, I just did not like this Hellboy. He just came across uh, as just being constantly just mad at everyone or everyone, and it's not badass at all. And let me just say something about this Hellboy. If this Hellboy sucked and I mean, if he's supposed to be this hunter of the paranormal and he really sucks at his job. Because unlike like, the 2004 with Ron Perlman's Hellboy, who was clearly a badass, and could clearly was clearly ready to kick every demon's ass. And yes, I know he gets kind of smacked around by, but still, whenever fighting, Ron Perlman's Hellboy, you always felt like, yeah, maybe he was facing some odds, but it always felt like he knew how to handle it. This Hellboy was just fucking weak. This Hellboy got his ass kicked repeatedly. He gets his ass kicked by the Osiris Club, and just repeatedly, and he's always relying. Feels like he's always relying on somebody else to help him out. So yeah. Now, uh, there's that. So there's that. And then, of course, afterwards, I mean, yeah. So yeah, Hellboy in this movie kind of just gets his ass kicked constantly. And even when he does fight something off, it does not come across as me doing it like a badass like the original dude does. I mean, the Samaritan is underwhelming, to say the least. Paced. But yeah, and apparently, and after he's attacked by the Osiris Club, and wakes up. Then there's the part where he finds the three giants. Turns out they killed the three giants. No, my bad. Finds the three giants who murdered the Osiris Club, and then promptly gets smacked around by him, until, and it's only with him. And yes, I know he does eventually win, but still, oh, oh. No, and I get that maybe they're trying to go, oh, and maybe they're trying to go for the more comical, but still, this Hellboy just came across as being weak, not the badass who even, it's not the badass that Ron Perlman's was, the one that even if he was getting smacked around, could still easily handle himself. I mean, unless of course it was by two demon dogs. But then again, but yeah, and of course after, and then of course this Hellboy is eventually saved by this woman who becomes his semi-love interest. Yes, and she has no personality, not likable, no connection to her at all. Unlike the previous one, was Hellboy. Unlike the 2004 version, where it's the Flame Girl, I forget, Liz, I believe her name was, as she's this psychic medium type person. But yeah, she's uh, she she just comes across as not being genuine. Genuine. Well, not genuine, but she just comes across as having no personality. And and she's not. And as for her love interest, it's not good. Good. You don't feel a connection between her and Hellboy. There's other than maybe a professional business relationship. They try to play, yeah, I just somewhat played up, but still. And of course, then we're introduced out of nowhere to this one character. And we're introduced to this one character, and I already forget his name. He's like a Asian dude. He just comes across as being an a-hole, for most of the movie. And so, yeah. And it's literally just, oh yeah, none of the characters are likable. So, not even the villain. And I get that Mila Jovovich is probably doing her best here. But the Nimue, the Blood Queen, our villain, is completely uninteresting. I mean, yeah, she wants to set upon a plague and wipe out humanity, but she's just not that interesting a villain. It's not the villain. There's no sense of a threat from her. Or nothing. Or not like the original, what was his name? The Rasputin dude from the original Hellboy. I'm sorry, I don't. It's been a while since I last saw the 2004 version Hellboy, but yeah, she feels complete. She doesn't feel like a threat, and yes, it's demonstrated throughout the movie that yeah, she's powerful, but she just doesn't give off this aura of being very threatening. She just won't threatening. And there's no sense of threat. Everything she does just feels kind of lame. And yeah, and I know who it. She can grant people power and all that, but still, it just feels and I hate to keep reinstating this, but there's just no. She just does not come across as threatening. And I understand that Mila Jovovich was probably doing her best, but yeah, and like I said, none of the characters were relatable or likable. You don't care about anything. Like there's this, and one of the big characters, one of the big baddies in this movie, is this weird pig human hybrid thing and character that apparently has history with Hellboy. He doesn't like Hellboy, and it's basically set up in that movie that he does not like Hellboy and just wants to kill Hellboy. And of course, the explanation for it is just stupid. So apparently, when he used to be a changeling or something that who said and Hellboy but Hellboy apparently ruined his life by exposing him for as a changeling because the fairies swapped him for opted him for another or a human baby and all that. But yeah, it just like because when he was like a baby, it's like really, hey dude, you're mad at Hellboy for that? Because apparently, I guess he wanted to grow up to be a human child and have a wonderful, happy life. Yeah. And that just comes across as, because they're like their weakness, a changeling's weakness is iron. What? I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not actually it's implied that their weakness is iron, but iron, it is implied that, but it's never actually directly stated that iron harms them in any ways. In any way. I mean, at least it's not explained in how what iron is exactly their weakness. But anyways, so yeah, and of course, or, and like I said, no likable characters, and the love interest of Hellboy, she's just, I mean, she's in it, but she's barely there. Well, not barely there, but she just has no personality. She doesn't. She doesn't have a. There's no. Like I said, there's no feeling of genuine relationship between in her and Hellboy. It just be. It just was very out of nowhere. Very I guess you could say contrived. But moving along. So yeah. Uh, uh, they're they're. So yeah. Sorry about that. But anyways. So yeah, what else bad this movie? Oh yeah. Speaking of plot points, points that come out of nowhere and as well as characters you don't care about. Merlin, yes, because I'd say about 2/3 of the way through the movie, all of a sudden Merlin comes out of nowhere because he was apparently cursed to live forever or some bull crap like that. I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, Merlin. But basically, because the plot point is that like Nimue uses this weird crown. I'm not. Uses like a crown. And she shoots like a stick from. And no, it's not a crown of thorns. No, but just it's like a crown made out of sticks or something. And because I guess she is mystical, or supposed to be this like this mystical being or some crap. And she shoots it into and she basically only wounds the love interest, and so they have to go find Merlin. And Merlin just basically comes out of nowhere, and his whole purpose is to explain her, saying another plot point out of nowhere, that as it turns out, Hellboy, he is a direct descendant of King Arthur. What? Yeah, it's complicated. But yeah, and that makes no sense. That apparently a demon is a descendant from King Arthur. And so he like the only one who can wield Excalibur. Yes, Excalibur is in this. So yeah. Excuse me. So yeah. But and apparently King Arthur Arthur uh, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so he's the only with Excalibur. And it also brings up another plot point that's kind of and tossed around. It's like, oh, the end is coming. and Hellboy is the end. And Hellboy grabs Excalibur and sees that, oh, he's going to the one to bring about the end of humanity. And he doesn't take it. And of course, it's because they're in a cave, and Merlin brings it here. Here. Er, oh, and I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself, but yeah. Sorry about that. Camera froze up for a little bit, but anyways, got ahead of myself. Speaking of plot points of nowhere, so so the pig thing big character I mentioned, and you see him early in the movie. He having a talk with like this weird, ragged old witch or something like that, and turns out this witch is Baba Yaga. Aga, because apparently he hunts like fairy tale and all that crap. But anyway, so yeah, and there's a point in the movie where he's going on an elevator. He's on an elevator here, and all of a sudden he's out and the elevator goes crazy, and turns out he's in Baba Yaga's realm. And he's in the house, but yeah, this scene comes completely out of nowhere. Or it's like I mentioned earlier, the scenes there's no a lot of these scenes have no fluidity to them. It just it's just like that's like bam, 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 bam. Because they jump around locations crazy. These like scenes will just literally end. So yeah, but anyway, Baba Yaga. Her whole point was to basically explain where Nimue is because apparently the Bureau of Paranormal Research can't because they're all a bunch of idiots. So yeah, but it's just dumb. Um and um and it hurt Yaga, and Baba Yaga I will say is probably one of the only creature designs in this movie that I kind of like. I'll get to her creature designs in a little bit, but she's the only one I kind of liked in this movie because she does come across as being just this horribly grotesque thing, like you can all of her limbs just kind of crack and contort as she moves. And I have to admit, she was one of the only ones that I really kind of liked. But uh, and there is a scene in that's it's kind of disgusting, and I won't talk about it here. But moving right along, and after that scene comes out of nowhere, literally as Hellboy is basically dumped out of Baba Yaga's house because if you recall, Baba Yaga lives in a house that walks on chicken feet, giant chicken feet that is. As he literally just drops in from the ceiling and in the Bureau was the secret headquarters. But yeah, And so they go to where. And I'm sorry, but the whole thing is based. This the whole Baba Yaga scene is basically set up with Nimue is so that they can basically have they have this encounter with Nimue, so Nimue can injure the love interest and all this and go and invite murder and all that. But anyways, so yeah, and I know I jumped around there, but and I'm sorry, but that's kind of what this movie does. But anyway, only maybe not as bad as that, but yeah. So the like I said, as you can guess by now, the pacing in this movie is bad. But anyway, so yeah, they go. Turns out Nimue is in London at a cathedral, and it's also here that we learn that turns out now is it turns out the Asian dude he has a monster living inside of him. Because turns out he was on a hunt and the hunt he used to be in the military and his military and his unit was asked to help a village that was being attacked by this creature. And as it turns out, what it is this weird cat creature. There's like, I guess it's supposed to be this weird supernatural jaguar thing or cat creature. But yeah, it turns out he has it living inside of him because we see him stick himself over the needle, I guess, to keep it down. But yeah, that. Uh, but so he and to help Hellboy battle this, the pig creature, which isn't really much of a battle, as the pig creature just kind of slaps them both around. Leading back to the point I made earlier that this Hellboy sucks. Because it's not Hellboy or the cat creature that defeats him. It's this pig. It's Nimue who basically he reduces him down to the size of a baby pig and then just blows up and just causes him to explode in a bloody explosion. And it's usually anticlimactic. And as it turns out, Hellboy turns out Arthur's tomb is in this cathedral. And yeah, eventually Hellboy does take Excalibur, and he gets the demon horns in form. And he does kill Nimue. But it's hugely unsatisfying, unlike in the original. Because as this whole movie, the pacing is off. It feels just like I said, the whole thing just feels like it's rushing through everything. Like they're not taking any time to let us grasp the location or what's going on. It's just like bam, 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 bam. And so yeah, and there is some stuff afterwards. But anyways, Hellboy. But let's get to one of the things that I think I personally think really hurts this movie, and that is how everything looks. Now maybe it's because this movie did not have Guillermo del Toro, but still, everything looked bad. I mean, Hellboy, Hellboy did not look nearly as good as he did in the 2004 version. I mean, there are certain parts where you see Hellboy's normal hand, I guess you would call, and it just looks like he took a human hand and just painted it red or head or something. Hellboy, his stone hand is used, and I mean it barely used. It's just there. Excuse me, it's the right hand that it's stone hand. But yeah, the stone hand. and everything just looks terrible. The monster effects just look well. I mean, you can clearly tell the monster effects are CG in this one, and because this one, I mean, you can tell what they look like, but uh, still, all the monsters just look cheap. Nothing looks good. Excuse me. Nothing looks like it had any care put into it. I mean, even the it from. I mean, yeah, even like teleportation effects, like when in a Nimue goes to portals, it just looks cheap. There's no after effects to it. Or I should say no I should say, but there's no good effects. It's just like this swirling swirling dark mist portal. Oh, also, yeah, and then like Hellboy's love interest. She's a spirit medium and she can contact the dead. But when she does, it look Hush it spews this ectoplasm thing out of her mouth, and it actually reminds me of that one horror movie, yeah, Haunting in Connecticut. Yeah, and trust me, it looks just as cheap here. I mean, granted, we only see her do it twice in the movie, but still. Oh, I mean, yeah. All the effects are the monsters, and even the cat creature that the one guy turns into, it just looks kind of dumb. Um, Nothing looks genuine. Nothing looks like it had any care put in, any love put into it. Like this is, like this was not. This is clearly not. This was clearly a studio for working on this. That this was. That they're just a studio who was just kind of designing it and hoping that everybody will like it, based on it because it's Hellboy. But sadly, that's not the case here. So there. I mean, in Hellboy, and yeah, uh, and, uh, and like I said earlier, none of the characters are likable. Oh, and there is one thing I forgot. One thing I forgot to mention in terms of plot points or hell, just elements coming completely out of nowhere. There's a part in the movie where the Asian agent is fighting as a human, and they're fighting on Pendle Hill. Hellboy's gone after Nimue, and the Asian agent and the love interest are there to fight off zombies, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, this. Well, I guess you could say they're zombies. They're not really zombies, but they're zombies. I mean, they come from the ground, but they don't really act like zombies. But still. But yeah, out of nowhere, this spirit medium just has the ability to punch people and knock their souls out of their body completely out of nowhere, or because she's a spirit medium, even though we've never seen her be able to do this. Who this in the rest of the movie, but yeah, and it's basically the only time she does it because she's there, as like I said, she's just kind of there to be the love interest, and it's just there to be there. I mean, yeah, she is helpful, but like when she contacts the father during the final scene, and tells Hellboy, the father can tell Hellboy, don't turn to evil. It just comes across as completely ungenuine and disingenuous, if you will. there's no, they're trying to play it up like it's this emotional moment, but yeah, there's no, it doesn't come across as that. Unlike the original, where Agent Myers is telling Myers is reminding Hellboy of his father, and how Hellboy, there's no, and that's another thing I think that makes this movie is that there's no real at the point of view in this movie. Well, I shouldn't say point of view, but we're never really sure who we're telling this, trying to see the story from. Whereas in the original, I mean, I guess we are, yeah, we are basically kind of seeing the whole thing play out through Myers' point of view. Agent Myers' point of view, but moving along, we don't have that kind of character here. We're basically just focusing on Hellboy, which I get it was their focus of the original, but still, Hellboy, like I said, Hellboy just sucks in this one. This Hellboy is not, he does not come across as a badass in any way. He comes across as a as a complaining, as somebody who complains and who is completely weak when fighting against what he's supposed to be hunting, which is like everything paranormal. It's only during that one opening scene with the vampire that he comes across as really being strong. All the other times he just kind of gets smacked around and just usually finds a way to win. And like with the Giants, yeah, I mean, eventually he does find a way to win, but he does get smacked around. And like the Osiris Club, yeah, granted it was they ambushed him, but still. There's also the scene, and I forgot, where the big pit is hunted. He attacks this what was it? I guess an abbey or something. And it basically kills all the monks, because he's trying to find all the pieces of Nimue, because apparently Nimue can't be killed. So King Arthur used Excalibur to chop her up and put all her in pieces and caskets and spread them all across the countryside. But yeah, because that was explained in the beginning there. But still, the scene, like I said, it's a scene that just comes completely out of nowhere. Oh, where? And this is also another scene where powers come out of nowhere, where it's literally because it's like these caskets can only be opened by speaking, when you have to say a sacred word, and it can only be aired, and only if it comes from a man of God can it be opened. Well, it turns out that doesn't really mean much, because this pig creature, and I guess he's a changeling. I mean, I guess because he's supposed to be a changeling, he rips out this monk's tongue and eats it, and then uses it to imitate the monk's voice and all ways to open it. Well, yeah. No, it didn't come from a man of God. Didn't even come from a man at all. But yeah. Well, okay, I guess it's a man. A pig is the base from a he, but it didn't really come from a human. So, oh, good job with that one, Arthur. You really made that. You really did. It emphasized that. But yeah, you get a sense. You got a sense of how ridiculously bad this movie is. I can't even say ridiculously bad, because it's just bad. And yeah, unlike and getting back to the cheap effects, like there's a part where they're on the hill, and Nimue is summoning all the creatures. All the monsters, none of the monsters look particularly impressive. I mean, none of them look like they've had any thought put into them. It's like somebody, like they just kind of, I know, went to work just kind of designing a bunch of CG monsters and just threw them in there. So yeah, and and then of course like at the end, and Hellboy, he just kind of, well, I don't know. Before that, because like when Nimue is unleashing her plague, the plague on London, we have all these creatures that's coming up from, I guess what you could say, hell cracks that come from hell. Well, but it's like all of them just look really dumb. It's like, oh, there's all a bunch of giants, but what's the point? Giants, but none of them, and they all are causing havoc. But I mean, none of them look particular. I mean, there's like one, but still, they don't give you enough time to focus on any of them. And then, like when he throws her head into hell, because he cuts her head off with Excalibur, and then throws her head into hell. It doesn't. Nothing looks really impressive. And I mean, maybe I'm just as partial towards the 2004 with Guillermo del Toro, but still, it just nothing comes across as genuine. Well, not genuine, but the effects in this movie all look really bad. Not that they have really any time just to show off effects, because, like I said, the scenes just go, oh, bam, 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 bam. There's no flowing in different scenes. It's just that's one scene after another. Like you're literally, you'll be in one location, and next thing you know, you're in another location. Like, and it's just, and you're on one plot point, and then all of a sudden, bam, there's something different, and there's no fluidity at all in this movie. Oh yeah, that that and I mean, and okay, so and then there's also I guess there's a side plot point where the Asian guy, he's getting bullets, I guess designed with like holy water, so he can kill Hellboy because he doesn't trust him. Yeah, the plot point where everybody wants Hellboy dead. I mean, that kind of goes away, yeah, after a while. But yeah, and like the Samaritan in this one is barely, and it's not used there much, which was a disappointment. There's also and like I said, none of the characters are likable. Hellboy's father just kind of acts like an asshole the entire time. Nothing like the intelligent, wise dude. Wise dude. Who the intelligent old wise old man from the original. Well, and yeah. And if you're expecting to have a contrasting character like they had in the original, don't. There's no one like that in this movie, unless you count the Asian dude. But still, it didn't come across. Unlike the one guy who contrasts, there's basically a big contrast to Hellboy's character. In the original, this guy, it's really hard to like him when, and even Hellboy himself acts kind of a genuine whiny asshole. And I hate to keep calling him whiny, but this Hellboy just kind of complain. It's just, well, dumb. And when he is talking, he's basically complaining about how all humans just hate him, just hate the monsters and all that. That plot point just seems to go away pretty fast. That's, well, not go away, but it's not really brought up again. So yeah. And I know I've just been kind of rambling on about this movie, but it is really that bad. So, and like I said, the story makes no sense. There's plot points that come out of nowhere, where like Hellboy, no, well, unlike in the original, we don't really know what his origins are. But no, in this one, yeah, he's the son of, he's the last descendant of King Arthur, or what, Arthur, what? Yeah, and like I said, things come completely out of nowhere. So yeah, so and I think I was reading that apparently the studio Lionsgate, apparently he wanted a series of sequels, not just one movie. I mean, okay, I get. Yeah, a series of sequels, yeah. But if you want to be able to have that, you have to be able to provide the audience. You have to be able you have to be able to start out. Oh yeah, how good. You have to have a good starting movie. You can't just throw crap at the audience and hope they accept it. No, those days are over. So yeah, ah, the days of just throwing a bad movie at the audience and hoping that they'll accept it are over. You can't do that anymore. But yeah, so where was I before that? Oh yeah, uh, 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 explain and what else was terrible about this movie. But yeah, I can't. But let me read movie. I can't really think of anything else so they're terrible. I mean, maybe all the terrible plot points and plot points that don't make sense. Like hence. I mean, like the vampire thing was just kind of dumb. So yeah. Uh, don't even get me started. Oh no, there's nothing else to get started about because I've pretty much just covered for everything that sucks about this movie. I mean, unless you want to talk about, unless I guess I could do compare everything and here every do a full comparison again, but then I'd just be restating myself. I mean, I guess compared to the 2004, but I'd just be reinstating everything I just said. So yeah, Hellboy. Hellboy. It sucked, and it really sucks because I liked the two. I liked both Hellboys. I liked the 2004 Hellboy, and I liked Hellboy 2, The Golden Army in 2008. And yeah, there were two. It was two movies those two movies were 4 years apart. And both of them I liked well. Oh, and like I said, I read that apparently Lionsgate wanted a series of sequels, but you gotta give us something better than this if you want that. Because just trying to throw crap at us now ain't gonna work. Heck, heck, maybe this movie could have been. Heck, maybe they should have actually tried to get Guillermo del Toro back, but I don't know. Or if even that would have helped this movie, because this movie just felt very studio, like it was made by a bunch of studio executives who don't really know, who don't know exactly how to handle a character, or character, but a character, a studio character, who don't know what made the original movies great, and probably who don't know what made it great. Now, I can only speak from experience from the two movie, is Hellboy and Hellboy 2: The Golden Army, as I have never read the comics. But still, no. Oh, the 2004, that Hellboy, he was a badass. As he had a presence. This Hellboy just comes across like I mean, I think I understand what he comes across as plenty of time throughout this review, but still, it's just this Hellboy just does not come across it. No, not gonna go there. Over there. But yeah. But let's see what else. I mean, I've covered basically everything, and I know a lot of maybe the characters are doing their best, as like Mila Jovovich. I know she's probably doing her best, but like I said, she's just not very threatening. None of her character just doesn't have that same sense of scale, a sense of threat that the Dark Rasputin guy from the 2004 version did. And yeah, she wants to basically bring about humanity, but everything she did just came across as just kind of cheap. Like when she's unleashing her plague, it's just it's like a CGI swarm of flies or something. It's just it just comes across as being as cheap. Even there's no real sense of threat at the mortal wounding of Hellboy's love interest is undone so easily by Merlin, like I said, who is kind of only in this movie for maybe I think at least 10-20 minutes, maybe, and clearly is only there to explain a out of nowhere plot point, but once again I'm going back to restating myself. But yeah, so yeah, this movie really kind of sucked. But I guess I should probably get to the final verdict now. Final eating. So, based on how bad everything was and how much I did not enjoy myself with this movie, I'm going to give this movie a 2 out of 10. And I want to give it a 3, but this movie was just bad. The pacing was off. None of the characters are likable. Oh, the effects all look cheap. There's no real big threat in the villain. The plot is terrible, and none of the scenes have any fluidity to them. So, I even just gonna say this, I would not recommend to go see this movie at all. I mean, heck, I think there were only like maybe 15, not even that, maybe 10 people in the theater here, including myself, tops, maybe. So yeah, I would not recommend to go see this movie at all. And there you have it, Hellboy 2019, 2 out of 10. Don't go see it. It sucks. And that about wraps up for this video. My name is Second814, and thank you so much for watching. May the wind always be at your back. See you next time.